Hey guys, this is Kenzie from Groupies with the Band. For our second interview, we had the pleasure of talking with Seth, the lead singer of Foxxdye, a small band from Providence, Rhode Island. I hope you guys enjoy, and thank you again, Seth, for this amazing interview.
And I front the band Foxxdye.
Okay, perfect. How old are you?
I am 23.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like describe your day-to-day life, kind of how you are, your personality.
Um, Recently I just moved to Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
In my daily life, I work in make music videos and
Mm-hmm.
that kind of produce and coordinate music video projects and stuff. So
Okay.
I work in that realm
Mm-hmm.
and my music as well. I love a visual side of
Mm-hmm.
music.
Are you currently in school right now?
No, I never went to school actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, did you move out to Brooklyn just to kind of pursue your career and just kind of do more stuff and kind of photography and things like that and art?
Yeah, I've always wanted to move to Brooklyn
Hmm.
since I didn't really come from the city at all.
Hmm.
It was rural, but
Yeah.
I always wanted to just move to Brooklyn. And I was like, if I can just get there in my 20s, I don't care if I'm sleeping on a mattress on the floor in
Hmm.
a time. At least I have a bed frame, but my room is still tiny. But yeah,
Yeah.
always wanted to be here, and then a
Hmm.
lot of my here as well, and I work with them. So
Yeah. I mean, even if you do have a tiny room and a bed frame, even if it's just a mattress on the floor, you're still in the city of New York, which is amazing.
yeah, I'm 30 minutes from like the craziest city ever. So,
Oh,
uh,
you're only 30 minutes away from New York, New York.
yeah, from Manhattan. Yeah, so
Oh,
just
that's
take
pretty
a
cool.
train there. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah,
Um, do you want to tell me how you guys became a band?
sure.
Yeah.
Um, so I've been a producer
Mm-hmm.
for a while. Um, I kind of started with music in that realm, and then I had a solo project
Mm-hmm.
where writing everything.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of took a small step back and wanted to, for one, experiment with more organic sounds in a band sense because everything was very electronic before.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I kind of took a step back, rediscovered some things, wrote a whole bunch of new
Mm-hmm.
songs, which is a lot of what's going to be coming out for Foxxdye. And
Yeah.
I realized I also don't want to do this alone
Mm-hmm.
anymore. I do really like the feeling and atmosphere of a band,
Mm-hmm.
having people. As far as musicians, they're all amazing
Mm-hmm.
and take it a lot farther than me. I play a little bit and start a demo, but they really take it to the next level. So
Yeah.
uh, yeah, and then I randomly was introduced to my guitarist Colin first,
Mm-hmm.
and we met just randomly. We didn't know each other before, but just met
Mm-hmm.
up and instantly knew I wanted them to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Known my drummer Jay for a while,
Mm-hmm.
like mid high school, maybe early high school. So I've known them and have been playing with them. And recently we brought on our bassist Nolan, and it's going great.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of, I don't know, random things that all kind of fell into place, and it is still very fresh, but it's continuing. It's amazing just to see it all just work so easy and
Yeah.
organic.
Yeah, I was gonna say, seeing you guys perform, it seems like you had all known each other for a really long time,
Oh,
and you guys all worked very, very well together.
that's great. Yeah. As far as me, yeah, me and my drummer, we have known each other for a
Hmm.
bit, but we've only been doing the band thing for about just over a year. So it
Oh,
is
wow.
I don't know. We do have really good chemistry. I can't deny it.
Are you originally from Rhode Island at all, or?
Yeah. So I
Okay.
grew up 30 minutes from Providence, Rhode Island. I grew up in Dartmouth, Massachusetts. So
Oh, okay.
South Mass, and then I moved to Providence when I moved out when I was 18. So
Yeah.
that was the area I was in for like 3 years or so,
Hmm.
and then to Boston and then New York.
So you lived in Boston before you went to New York.
Yeah.
How was that?
Um, I don't want to upset anybody, but Boston's not my favorite. It's cool. It's very pretty. It's just, I don't know. I do like the noise. I don't mind if some people are like yelling outside my apartment, or like there's like loud music playing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, energy. I just like the stimulation here. But Boston is pretty, so
yeah,
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. I had some family that lived in Boston and like the Massachusetts area, and they all kind of were like, we like it, don't know if we could stay here forever.
Yeah, like it feels a little bit like just quiet. I don't want to soulless, but like I don't know. I'm being hard on a whole city, but
yeah, like you need more noise. You can't just sit there in silence all the time.
Right, like maybe at some point I could settle down and read books all day. Like that sounds great, just not right now. Like I just gotta. I like the action, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're in a band, I feel like you kind of need to have that energy. If you just want to sit there and read all day, I feel like that kind of goes into your music.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I feel okay. Maybe that was a little extreme, but in general, I do think there's a lot of cool stuff happening out of Boston, though, and I was there and played shows there briefly. Great. It's just still can't really deny the like Brooklyn energy. And just like either New York or LA. So New York I like the most. Yeah.
What is your dream venue to play at? Because you said that you've played in Boston and you've played in Rhode Island. Where is like a dream area or like a specific club you would like to play at?
Okay, so Foxxdye has played one of the rooms from it kind of recently. The Bowery Electric. I grew up and I was like, I've always wanted to play it. It's like a smaller club, but like a lot of people came out of it. And, but when we played it, I didn't realize that there was a smaller room. So like I got there and we played the smaller room. Which is like the ballroom.
Okay.
But I think that's possible. We've been asked to play. It's just figuring it out. But yeah.
Yeah. So you've played the small room, but you want to try to play like the bigger room of the area.
Right. I want to play the big room.
Yeah.
I don't know. Bowery Electric was really the one I did want to play, and it was cool to be able to like be a part of that. So
yeah. What other venues have you guys played?
In New York, we've played in Pianos. Like another kind of similar size, but a lot of people. I don't know. Maybe whoever watches this can correct me if I'm wrong. I think Frick Ocean has a lyric about pianos, like that club. So yeah, played there. And that was really cool too. Bowery Electric, the small room, and then like it's been a handful of shows in like the as well. So Alchemy. We've recently played. It's like a pizza place and club. It's like Lost Valley Pizza and Brewery. But that was cool too. Yeah, or it's called Revival. Like I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah.
So we played there recently, and that was a really good show too. But it's been like trickling in. Like the goal this year is to like really go heavy on the shows if we can do it.
Are you gonna try to do like somewhat of like a little small, maybe East Coast like tour?
Yeah, I would love to. I think that's definitely possible for us. Like maybe end of this year. Right now, definitely going heavy on getting a lot of song recordings done. We had like so much, figuring out the best way to get it done. So at that period right now, I'm like the main producer. So right, like getting everything ready for the engineer, and once we get a couple more songs out and maybe a project, that's going to be a big focus after, like touring it.
Yeah. I did see that you guys are coming out with a new song on Wednesday called In My Head. Do you want to talk a little bit about kind of the process of that song?
Sure.
Okay.
It was something I wrote actually 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
almost three, and I had just little. If from what you've seen in the clip, there's like this like just repetitive like glitchy synth line.
Yeah.
I was like fooling around with that sample, and I had that for like ever, and I always thought it was cool. I just didn't know what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
I like took a step back from it, and I came back like last year, and it like that song just wrote, like after like I put down all the lyrics,
Mm-hmm.
like sounded almost like it does now. Like I went really hard on it, and then I have one person, which is he's a really talented artist from LA. His name's Geller.
Okay.
He did a lot of the like he added some extra like synths and like
Mm-hmm.
little in the back, and he helped bring some extra atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the band, like they added the drums, guitars, and all those other elements. So yeah, and it's pretty personal of a song. It's kind of about it's me like dramatizing whether there's something like literally wrong with my brain functioning
Mm-hmm.
when you're in a relationship and you're just not getting it right, and whatever it is, it's like just dramatizing it to that level. Like, can I actually trust what's in my head? Like, because it's never done me right, and those are the lyrics. So yeah,
Like it's kind of like, is it in my head or is it in my heart? Like it's like an intuition like feeling, and you don't know that if it's just all in your head or if it's actually true or not.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. I like to imagine the song is taking place, and like you just had like a blowout with somebody, and like you're just sitting at home like feeling like literally insane, like pulling out your hair. Because I've definitely had those moments, and
Mm-hmm.
I think I have too. So
I
yeah,
think
it's sorry. What
I
were you saying?
was gonna say, I think I have listened to both of your songs that you have put out, Change and Between the Lines, and it seems like your music is very like heavily focused on relating to people, and mostly relating to people when it comes to like anxiety, and also trying to like pursue someone or being in a relationship with people. And I think I really like the messages that you're giving out in your songs. I think it helps a lot of people be like, oh, it's not just me that this is happening to, it's happening to like everyone. And it also sounds very nice too, so I think that helps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's helpful. Uh, but no, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. That's definitely like that's what I'm going for. I feel like if I can mix being like creating catchy songs while being as honest as possible in it, like
Mm-hmm.
getting people to sing along to something that's like an earworm, but you're saying stuff that's like super revealing. I feel like that's cool, and that's kind of my goal here.
I feel like it definitely helps if you can relate to it, that it will like stick with you, and people will be like, oh my god, like have you heard this song? The meaning of it is amazing. You gotta listen to it. And then it just kind of catches on and like carries with people.
Yeah, no, that's definitely my goal.
Yeah.
Trying to get better at it, but yeah, I appreciate you saying that. I'm happy to see it that way.
I will say, me and my friend did see you when you guys did your show in Providence, and we immediately looked you up on Spotify, and your songs have stuck with us.
Oh my god, that's so cool. Well, thank you.
Of course.
I, I believe we saw each other briefly for a second, and you had to run out the door, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was up front with my friend for the show, and we like kind of saw you a little bit behind us, but there was the curfew that was going on.
Right.
So we like went to go say hi to like the Backfires and Phone Boy, and then we just lost you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'll be back, like I said, and I'll officially meet you. But
Yeah.
yeah, that makes me really happy that you guys liked it. It was a really cool show for us.
Mhm.
It just felt like, at least in our situation, like we just brought on a new bassist, and
Mhm.
we're really starting to like hone into something. So I don't know, I was happy. A lot of people had a lot of nice things to say. That's all.
That actually brings me up to my next question. So we had the pleasure of seeing you guys open up for the Backfires and Phone Boy. I would like to know kind of like, how did that happen, and how was it performing with them?
Uh, the show was kind of a more random thing.
Mhm.
I thought it was kind of funny. I believe it was the Backfire, or no, it was Phone Boy who said this is the first time we've had local support on this whole tour.
Yeah.
And just the promoter that was running that gig like really helped us out and was like, I really like these guys, like we'll throw them on. So it's kind of a really random thing, and it worked out. And like I said, we got a lot of nice, we heard a lot of nice things. So but yeah, it was really cool. They're all super nice, both band, Phone Boy and the Backfires, and it was cool. We like after the show, we all hung out after, and I got to meet them, and they're all like super funny, super nice. It was a good time. And I wish them the best.
Yeah. I heard them say that you guys all went out to the bar together after they were struggling. Yeah, they were struggling to find alcohol the night before. So me and my friend gave them some recommendations for bars, and they said they actually went to one. So
yeah. The singer, I keep forgetting his name of Phone Boy. But he was like, hey, like where do we go after this? And I was like, oh, let's go to this place called Ogie's, and they're like, okay, all right, well maybe we'll see them. But then we all like hung out and we were like sitting around like a fire pit and like talking for a while. It was really fun. It was cool. Like I said, they're super genuine, and I wish them the best, like the rest of the tour and stuff too.
Yeah. Okay, so you talking about like being able to talk to them and hang out with them, and that it was super cool to kind of like experience that kind of makes me like wonder who is like your inspiration kind of like for music.
For music, it's definitely a really big mixed bag. Growing up, I mean, Michael Jackson was my favorite. Like, I just loved watching him perform. I grew up on that music. So
yeah.
That one's like a lot of like 80s pop. As far as like the band sense, I also grew up like the Neighborhood, the 1995, Bad Sons type thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of like, I feel like in some way, like I get that energy of like youthfulness and like that kind of thing a little bit, because I feel like I don't want to say decline in indie rock bands, but there's definitely been a hole there, and I feel like there is space for like a new band, and I want to be that. So, it's mixing a lot of stuff. Like I love very dance music, and I also love the like shoegazy. Grew up on like Coldplay, that kind of stuff. So just plenty of stuff in.
I would definitely say that your guys' like music, from my perspective, seems like very much kind of indie rock, but also your like the background sounds that you have to some of your songs kind of give me like psychedelic. And
That's cool.
Yeah, I like the mix of it. I think they mix very well together. It isn't like off-putting at all. It's more of just kind of like, I don't know, it's something that you can vibe to. You can either just like stand there and vibe, or you can lay down and just listen to it, or you can even dance to it.
Yeah, I'm definitely, that's another big thing of mine. Like I love making songs that make people want it. Like that's just like a massive goal. Like for the most part, there are songs that are slower, but I love that, and I just want to get better at writing stuff like that. And as well as on the other side, like I'm the one like producing, sitting here like with my little like synth and whatever. Like it's a mix of like sampling, like fooling around with like patches and whatever, trying kind of create like a ambient atmospheric side to it as well. So I really like that balance of rhythm and atmosphere. I would prefer if like there's little like Easter eggs and sounds in there where you maybe don't hit it the first time, but every listen there's something else that you don't catch. That's another thing. So yeah, I'm happy you said like that. I haven't heard that before actually, so that's cool to hear.
I do like the idea of kind of like, because I personally love re-listening to songs and even like rewatching like TV shows or movies and catching stuff you didn't catch before. Um, so I think that definitely is like, I feel like people don't do that a lot with their music now. I feel like it's kind of, you know what you're getting into every time you listen to it, and you kind of get to the point where you're like, hey, I know the lyrics and I know everything about this song. But
Sure.
when you have a song where every time you listen to it, even if you've listened to it over 100 times, you still find something new about the song, I just feel like it makes it more special.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are certain that I just never I get sick of, and it really is just the like care into the production, and like these people cared about what they're doing, and it's real. It's what they're feeling. Like
Mhm.
anything other than that, I do feel like you can get that sense, and you might like a song, but you can tell if there's not. Um, I really am being like here. It's the thing keeping me going.
Yeah.
I care about it more than. Yeah, I feel like that's important.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you should care about your music. If you don't, if you're just kind of making music to make music and like be famous, there's no point. If you actually care about it, you can tell when someone cares about their music.
Um, yeah, I really have just been doing this forever, and it's I'm happy that that expression has evolved into where it's at.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Um, so we talked about how your new song is coming out. We've talked a little bit of like your process and kind of just what you want to do with your music. Are you guys currently working on anything right now? Like possibly a new EP or an album, or just kind of are you thinking of just pushing out like a few singles?
Probably closer to like a EP, maybe like longer EP type thing. And that's being worked on, and in the get a few more singles out, like a stream of singles that we feel really about. And yeah, like I don't want to say buying, really taking the time to make sure it's like as good as we can get it, because I feel like this time for us matters a lot. So I really want to again keep drilling in that serious, and it's something that's gonna be a well-oiled machine in not that long of time.
Yeah. Like you kind of just want to, you're not like too heavily focused on trying to like push an EP or an album out. It's more of like you want to make sure your songs are good and your music is good and people like it before you heavily focus on making something bigger.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's even like being honest. Like I don't come from money. Like I'm trying to get the funds there. I do when I platform the music. I do it well, and there's a lot of ideas. Just kind of taking that time, and I'm really excited for In My Head, and I know the next two singles after that, so really strong, and it's just getting the mix of that, figuring out our game plan, and then like our creative director, Hong Kong, her name's Andy. Lately, we've just been calling and having just great talks, like what are they in, like actually, like she'll read my lyrics, dissect them, and be like, I stay here, and what's the best way to like represent it, get some of these ideas across, and we do really like out, and just we'll have like 3-hour calls about like just brainstorming about how we can get some ideas up. So a bit of that. It's we're always working, just waiting to get the result as good.
You guys are determined.
100%.
Yeah, you are doing basically everything to kind of make sure that your music is good. You're working with you're working with everything basically. It's not just one person doing all the work or just kind of like doing mediocre stuff. You're all like working together to make sure that your music and your brand and like your band all together are really good.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
And not there's something as far as like I for the most part usually start all the episodes, so here at home. And like I do a process where I kind of see what stands the test of time a little bit. Like song In My Head was something I thought of, like elements of it were for the band.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it was still something I felt really confident in, so it was able to develop. There's some song, like I'm writing all the time, and a lot of stuff that won't go out just because I do feel something to like really pick in the best stuff, and maybe at some point come out, but it might just take time. Like I might need to be in the right headspace to get into that.
I mean, you could always make later down the line like a little small EP of all the songs that you felt like you didn't want to be on their own or be part of a bigger album, and it could be like all your unreleased music.
No, I would love to do that.
Yeah.
As far as putting out a project, that's something I do really want to do. Even an album one day.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for a while, and I've never put out an album, so that's a big goal. Within a reasonable amount of time, I want to do that, and getting this EP, and I just really want to make sure it's good, and whatever ideas stand longest. Like occasionally, like Between the Lines was a new world, and Between the something that just wrote itself instantly, and it was within almost a month that it was like started and finished. So that one was different, but usually hasn't been happening, but it's okay.
Yeah, it was like one of those songs where it's like you immediately were like, yeah, I like this, and I think people are gonna like this. I need to push it out.
Right, and it was like, all right, let's wipe off all the original plans. This song has to, and I think that's good because there's certain songs that just that feeling. Yeah, this is. I want to try to write the best Foxxdye song every time, and occasionally you do get, all right, this is really, I'm onto something. So,
okay, that leads me to kind of one of the like final questions, which is I want to know why the name Foxxdye and also why you guys spelled it like that.
It's I gotta get better at like explaining this because it's really not that interesting, but it's kind of funny.
Okay.
I was just sitting in my bed like alone. It was like in the middle of the night, and then I was just like, I knew at that point that I was considering like starting a new project for my, and I was like just on Instagram. I was typing in like for like 2 hours, like just typing in random like combinations for accounts to see if they were taken, and I thought of like Foxxdye. There's this game I played called Foxxdye, like Foxdie, like.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought that was just, it sounds interesting. And then I was like, what if I take that but make it more like, so we'll add like XX and then D.
Yeah.
And I always used to dye my hair all the time, so it was like, it kind of feels like me. That's cool. And it's not like anything, but it feels like it's a thing at the same time. So yeah, that's really it. It's not that crazy.
I think it's a really funny story though. Like it's kind of something that when you tell more people about it, they're like, oh my god, your name is so cool. How did you think of that? And you're like, I used to dye my hair and I played this game and it was the only thing Instagram would give me. So here we are.
Another ad was taken. Like I could not think of anything. But then when I did reach out, I was like, oh, I actually really liked it and it worked out. I like the one word thing too. Like whatever. But yeah, that's it. It's really random, but I like it.
I think it's very interesting and I think it's really cool. I did think it was really funny, like how it was spelled. That's why I had to put that question on there because it was very intriguing to me how the name came to be.
Yeah, it's the two are for sleigh reasons.
Okay. My very last question for you today is there anything you want to tell people kind of about like you or your band or anything that's like coming up, whether it's like a show or music coming out?
As of right now, I don't know when this will be aired, but Valentine's Day, I will release a song with the band called In My Head, and really important one for us thematically, and I also do feel like we have some songs coming up. So just, I don't have much to ask for right now, but just keep an eye out for us, because I feel really good about some of the stuff that's coming.
Yeah.
After in my head, definitely some like dancier stuff too, and I about that. So yeah.
Yeah, so basically everyone just needs to follow Foxxdye on Instagram, and they need to all stream In My Head on Wednesday.
That's really it.
Yeah.
It's not much.
Yeah. Well, it was very lovely talking to you. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to interview you.
Of course, anytime.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do a check-in in like a year or something.
I would love to do a yearly check-in and just kind of like what they did with Billie Eilish, but I can just do it with you.
Right, yeah, that can be our segment together. Let's
Yeah.
do that.
We also need to do an interview when I see you in person.
Well, yeah, next time we'll be in person.
Yes, next time we'll be in person.
All right, cool.
Yeah, well, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and again, thank you so much for doing this for me.
No, thanks for having me, and I appreciate the kind words.
Yeah, of course.
All right, see you later.
Yeah, have a great day.